Matilda. What a pleasure to see you. Keeping you away from home, are we?
Yes. I mean, Mum wanted me to stay home. She hates it when I go out. Dad, too. He misses me so much. But I think it's good for parents to have their own space.
Your parents must be so proud to have a girl as clever as you. She tells us stories like you do for me. I love your stories, Matilda. And that's not a hint, by the way. But if you happen to have a story that you would like to...
Bye, Miss Phil. See you next week.
Oh, bye, Miss Honey. And good luck with the tall story. As I was saying, Matilda, I'm not hinting anything, but...
Who is that?
Oh, that lady. That's Miss Honey. She's going to be our teacher.
That lady. That lady's going to be my teacher.
Yes, yes, yes. Your teacher. Now look, are you going to tell me a story or not?
Once upon a time... Once upon a time, the two greatest circus performers in the world. An escapologist who could escape from any lock that was ever invented. And an acrobat who was so skilled it seems as if she could actually fly. Fell in love and got married. They performed some of the most incredible feats together anyone has ever seen. And people would come from miles around. Kings, queens, celebrities, and astronauts. But not just to see their skill, but also to see their love for each other, which was so deep, it was said that cats would purr as they passed them, and dogs would weep with joy. They moved into a beautiful old house on the edge of town, and in the evenings, they would walk and take the air. The children of the town would wait in anticipation, hoping for a glimpse of the shiny white scarf that the acrobat always wore. And then they knew that all they had to do was cry, "Tricks, tricks!" and the great performers would instantly oblige with the most spectacular show just for them. But although they were famous, although they loved each other and everybody loved them, they were sad. We have everything the water's to offer, says the wife. We have everything. We do not have the one thing in the world we want most. But the one thing... We do not have a child. Patience, my love. Patience, my love, the husband replied. Time is on our side. Even time loves us.
Oh, Matilda.
But as time passed, they grew quite old and still had no child. At night, they would listen to the silence of the big empty house and imagine how beautiful it would be if it was filled with the sound of a child playing.
Matilda, this is very sad.
Would you like me to stop?
Don't you dare!
This sadness overwhelmed them and drew them on to even more dangerous feats because their work became the only place that they could escape the inescapable tragedy of their lives. And so it was. They decided to perform the most dangerous feat ever known to man. It is cold, said the husband, announcing to the world press, ready to listen with bated breath. The burning woman hurling through the air with dynamite in her hair, over sharks and spiky objects, caught by the man locked in the cage, and it is the most dangerous feat ever known to man. It is our destiny, said the wife, smiling sadly and slipping her hand into his. It is where the loneliness of life has led us. And so the great day arrived. The whole world came to see the burning woman hurling through the air with dynamite in her hair over sharks and spiky objects, caught by the man locked in the cage. The whole thing was arranged by the acrobat's sister, a frightening woman who loved nothing more than to scare the children of the town, and who used to be an Olympic-class hammer thrower, and who loved nothing more than to scare the children of the town. People whispered that inside of her dark and grueling heart, she resented her sister for her success and her love. Suddenly, out came the Escapologist, wearing his tights and spangly outfit. But there was no sign of the acrobat, and no glimpse at all of the shiny white scarf. And instead of a musical fanfare, there was silence among the crowd as he solemnly strode into the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the burning woman hurling through the air with dynamite in her hair over sharks and spanky objects caught by the man locked in the cage has been cancelled!
No!
The whole crowd gasped so loudly that a passing aeroplane caught on the instrumentation as an atmospheric phenomenon. Cancelled because my wife is pregnant!
Oh, Matilda!
Silence. You could have heard a fly burp. Until the silence stopped. The whole crowd jumped onto their feet and roared in appreciation. The whole feat was instantly forgotten. And the applause went on for nearly an hour.
So, the story has a happy ending?
No. Forgotten by everyone except for the acrobat's sister. And when everything quieted down, she stepped forward and produced a contract.
A contract?
A contract you have signed to perform this feat. And perform this feat you shall.
No.
I have paid for the posters, publicity, catering, toy facilities. If I give the crowd their money back, where is my profit? A contract is a contract is a contract. My hands are tied. The burning woman hurling through the air with dynamite in her hair over sharks and spiky objects caught by the man locked in his cage will be performed this day or off to prison you both shall go.
No!
Slowly, very slowly, the acrobat's wound his shiny white scarf around the Escapologist's neck. For luck, my love, she said, kissing him with the most gentlest of kisses. Smile, we have done this 1,000 times. But then suddenly, she hugged him with the biggest hug in the world. He thought that she would knock all the air out of him. And so, it was they prepared to perform the most dangerous feat that's ever been performed. The great Escapologist had to escape from the cage, lean out, catch his wife with one hand, grab the fire extinguisher with the other, put out the flames on the asbestos design dress within 12 seconds before they reached the dynamite, and blow a wife's head off! Ah!
Sorry, go on.
The trick started well. As soon as the asbestos design dress caught ablaze, the crowd held their breath as she swung across the sharks and spiky objects. 1 second, 2 seconds, the flames crept up her dress. 3 seconds, 4 seconds, she began to lead towards the safe. 5 seconds, 6 seconds. The door flung open and the padlock pinged open and the cue chains fell away. 7 seconds, 8 seconds, the door reached out one huge muscle arm to grab the wife and the child. 9 seconds, 10 seconds.
Oh my God, look!
11 seconds. He grabbed her hand, and the flames were covered in foam before they could both be blown to pieces.
Hooray! So the story does have a happy ending after all.
No.
No?
No. Maybe it was nerve, or maybe it was the thought of their child. But the escapologist put just a touch too much foam, and his hands became slippy, and she fell.
No. Was she okay? Did she survive?
She did, but she broke every bone in her body, except for the ones at the end of her little fingers. She managed to hold on long enough to have the child, but the effort was too great. Love our daughter with all our hearts, she said. She's all we've ever wanted. Love our girl with everything. She is everything. And then she died. And then things got worse.
What? Worse? Oh, Matilda, not worse. They can't get worse.
I'm afraid they did. Because so kind was the escapologist that he never for 1 second blamed the acrobat sister for what had happened to her. And in fact, he asked her to move in with them to help with her. She was nothing but cruel to this girl, making her cook and clean and wash and iron, and beating her if she did a thing wrong. But I was in secret, so the escapologist never suspected a thing. And so, the poor little girl grew up with the meanest, cruelest, most horrible aunt they could ever possibly imagine.
Let's call the police.
Miss Phelps, it's just a story.
What? Oh, of course. Matilda, you're so smart. Your parents are saying they won the lottery for a child like you.
Oh, yes, they always say that. They say, oh, Matilda, we're so lucky to have you. It's like being in the lottery. I'd better go. See you tomorrow, Miss Phelps. At night, the escapologist's daughter cried herself to sleep, alone in her room. The little girl never said a word about the aunt's wickedness because she did not want to add to her father's pain. This just encouraged the woman to greater cruelties, till one day she exploded.
You are useless, filthy, nasty little creep!
And she beat her and threw her into a dank, dark, dusty cellar, locked the door and went out. That day, the escapologist happened to come home early. And when he heard the sounds of his daughter's tears, he smashed the door open! Have I been caught up in the grief of my wife that I've forgotten the one thing that matters most? I love you so much, my daughter. I shall spend the rest of my life making love to you. We shall live together forever. Don't cry, Daddy. I'm alright, Daddy. Please don't cry. Here, let me wipe away your tears. Forgive me, Daddy, forgive me. I didn't mean to desert you. I didn't mean to upset you. Please, Daddy, don't cry. You're right. With you by my side, I have nothing to fear. You're right here. That night, when the Escapologist's daughter fell asleep, his thoughts turned to the wicked ant as an almighty rage grew inside of his great heart. This demon, this villain, this monster, she has sullied the memory of my wife. She has betrayed the trust of her own sister. She has shown cruelty to the most precious reality of our marriage. Bullying children is her game, is it? We'll see what this creature thinks she can do when the wrath of a grown man stands before her. That was the last little girl ever saw her father, because he never came home, ever again.